Today we're going to be checking out the Hasbro Marvel Legends Marvel's Warlock wave. This is Cyclops. Cyclops, along with the other members of the original X-Men team, debuted way back in X-Men #1, September 1963. Grabbing the tape measure, Cyclops stands at about 6.5 inches tall. He comes included with the other leg for Warlock, so we can go ahead and grab what we've accomplished so far, which is very little, and we'll just plug this into the peg. There we go. Giving us 2 legs. This leg, by the way, seems like it's a little wonky. But I have to admit, though, the lower legs, this area here, is just solid plastic, so it's got a good bit of weight to it. I am very much looking forward to how Warlock's going to come together. I can probably give him a stand. That's about what we are working with right now. You can already see how much taller Warlock's going to be versus the other Marvel Legend figures. Okay, let's put that to the side. And let's have a look at Cyclops. I'm going to talk about this right away because I don't want to forget this. I don't know what it is about Marvel Legends, specifically some characters, but when you take an existing body, in no way at all is this a brand new body mold that they're using for Cyclops. But somehow, I don't know why they choose to do this, but Hasbro doesn't glue any extra pieces down. Have you noticed that? Like every single thing. So for example, we saw that with Polaris with her little gauntlets. Cyclops here, his little wrist portions of his glove are completely loose, which is, you know, that's fine. I don't mind that moves. That doesn't bother me at all. The belt and harness is a separate piece. It moves around. I can live with that because that's, you know, it's not going to fall off or anything like that. The thigh areas are also not adhered down. They just sit loose. But then we get down to the feet, the boots, and of all the places that they should have glued these extra pieces down, I would have thought would have been in the boots, and instead they're just these separate pieces that just don't sit in place. You can kind of just, I keep doing this, and you might find me doing this over the course of this review, just bringing these up as much as I can to get them to stay in place. Now, mileage may vary. That may not be everybody's Cyclops. Maybe you haven't had as much trouble with them as I have, but none of this would be hindered if these were just glued. Why they leave them loose, I have no idea, but they don't make them, you would think, again, like if these aren't going to be affecting articulation at all, I can still move the boots perfectly fine if these were glued in place. And why they don't do that, I have no idea. What I do have an idea, though, for is that I really like this particular figure. This is based on my favorite design of Cyclops, and actually my favorite design of the X-Men in general. Jim Lee, I think, is probably many people's go-to when they think of the X-Men. So much so that the 90s X-Men cartoon was based, you know, on the same style of design. You know, I kind of wish that they would go back to this, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I honestly still think to this day, the 90s designs of the X-Men falls under that, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think we did also get ourselves a Marvel Legends style of Cyclops back, I think in the X-Men Classics line, but that figure was very expensive, and I'm almost certain I did a review of him many, many years ago. But here we have an updated take of Cyclops to go along with the 90s Rogue. We've already gotten a Rogue. We've already gotten a Jean Grey, which I think was part of the, I want to say the Hit Monkey, or it was the Rocket Raccoon wave. Again, a very expensive wave. Also got ourselves an Archangel. Wolverine, of course, we've gotten him. I guess we really haven't gotten a Gambit, have we? A Jubilee, we've also So we've almost filled basically all of them. I guess there is still room for like a Charles Xavier in his yellow chair, because I don't think they've released that just yet. But we are filling the ranks very quickly of the X-Men from the 90s, and I love it. The coloring here is the perfect blue. In fact, I couldn't even think of a better blue that they could have used for Cyclops here. The yellow also is very vibrant. It's about the same yellow as the Rogue that had already come out. His visor is, to be expected, slightly different in that yellow, more relying on kind of like a metallic gold, along with the red strip in the middle there. Facial expression is neutral. They haven't given him any sort of facial expression, which is perfectly fine. And you've got the hair sticking out from the top of the open cowl. Again, I have no paint issues, no problem at all with, however, I mean, it's kind of, in this instance, there's really not much that they could have screwed up, because it looks like even the yellow areas probably are more mold than they are painted plastic. In fact, the only areas that I can see that are painted are the X-Men logos and the visor area. Everything else looks like it was actually just plastic. And of course the hair. Hair's done pretty good as well. Yeah, he's very clean. No issues other than just these flopping around on me. Now his hands are pretty much designated. I mean, he's got a closed fist, and as you would expect, he's got the two fingers. I'm pointing them at my visor gesture, which may be how you're going to end up displaying him, because ultimately, if you just have his hands down, it looks like he's almost going to be signaling traffic or something, or he's giving a guy directions, like you need to, it's actually down the street, just past the Xavier School for the Gifted, just down the street. You can pass Gary's department store. Okay, keep going. There's that Thai restaurant on the corner that Wolverine always eats at. You make a left. It kind of looks like what it, I mean, they could have given him alternate hands. I guess he really doesn't need necessarily alternate hands, because he gets the point across perfectly fine. Yeah, I have no issues with the figure other than, yeah, you can see it right there. That's the only strike I could make for Cyclops here. Why that can't be glued? Just astounds me. Articulation on this guy. Not getting into a rant at all here, but articulation. He's got a universal joint, so a ball joint at the top, which mixes itself nicely with your hinge. If you want to have him firing his optic blast that high, you can accomplish that very easily. Shoulders hinge outward. Rotation all the way around on the forearm, or on the full arm. Rotation in the bicep. He's got the double hinge on the elbow, which again really doesn't read so much as a double hinge, because you can't really do too much of a double bend on the elbow. Rotation on the wrist, as well as a hinge back and forth. Then he's got the upper torso crunch, which again, this I could see why this wasn't glued. If anything, you could have put, and his belt just came loose here, you could have put, let me just plug that in here. There we go. You could have actually put just a dollop of glue right here, and I don't say you to the collector, I say you, Hasbro. You could have put a dollop of glue right there, and then this would have still moved perfectly fine. Again, they just don't want to glue anything down, it seems. A forward and back motion on the legs. You got your split cut there, swivel cut on 3/4 of the thigh. You got your double hinge knee. You got your rotation in the boots. Might I also add, not hindered at all if this had just simply been glued into place. You got your swivel on the boot, hinge back and forth I should say, and you got your ankle pivot. Beautiful looking figure. Both Cyclops, I'll say right off the bat, both Cyclops and I would say Polaris so far are my favorite figures from this wave. We still got some more to go through. We're not stopping just yet. Of course, we still have to finish this guy. What kind of reviewer would I be if I just got this much done and I called it quits? And just said, they can just guess what the rest of Warlock's going to look like. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to finish the rest of Warlock, and we're going to see how spectacular he looks when we get everything put together on him. Though, in the meantime, let's not get ahead of ourselves. In the meantime, we were looking today at the Warlock wave. This was 90s Cyclops. A great looking figure, if not for being maybe a few little things here and there that should have been glued down. If you guys like this video, certainly hit it with a like. Subscribe also really is nice if you guys want to stay on board. The train keeps going. More videos keep getting added to the cargo. If you want to not miss the train, subscribe to this channel and you won't miss a beat when it comes to future videos. As well, fans of X-Men, fans of Marvel Legends. I like Marvel Legends. Do you like Marvel Legends? If you do, there's a playlist that you can go back and check all the older Marvel Legends videos I've done. Did you know I did the Juggernaut Wave? He did the Juggernaut Wave? Did he just say he did the Juggernaut Wave? I did. There's a playlist that will show you everything I've done up to this point. Check that out when you get a chance. As always, guys, comment down below. I always like reading your comments, and I'll see you next time.